Hey folks, it's Kaya. I think today is day 41 of my journey to wellness. It was time for an update. Yeah, it took a while for me to get here to want to do this. I still don't know that I want to do this particular video, but it was time for a video and we're committed to it. So, last week, a few days ago, we finished cycle 3 of our first part of chemo. I had the andromycin cytoxin, I think it's called AC for short, last Thursday, about 5 days ago, however many days ago it was. And this one was a little different. So I had a consult with the physician or the oncologist on Tuesday before, and we talked about symptoms and side effects and all of that. And one of the things that had been happening is a horrible headache that would come with, at chemo or during chemo or whatever. And so in efforts to try to head some of that off, they changed some of the nausea medicine. Instead of giving me, I forget what it was they were giving me, but they decided to go with Zofran to try to alleviate some of the headache pain that I was having. And that was a little different. I still, just as soon as they started the chemo this time, I got the headache, the one in my eye that feel like my eye is pushing out right here. It started regardless of the fact that they gave me the Zofran. But I will say that the Zofran this time lessened the nausea. The length of time or the length of days it's supposed to work is not as significant as the other drug that they were giving me. So they sent me home with some pills to take every 8 hours, for a few days just to make sure that I had enough nausea medicine. And it actually did alleviate a lot of the nausea that I was experiencing. Came with some other side effects though, but it did help with some of that queasy, sick, horrible feeling. The headache didn't go away though, and I actually kept the headache for days after the chemo. And extra strength Tylenol it was no match for that horrible headache, but the nausea was lessened, and I was actually able to eat, Saturday and Sunday, not as much, but we were able to eat regular food and didn't have to do applesauce and try to sleep as much as we could to get just through it all. The fatigue was something else this time. It took me longer, I think, to come out of the fog of the fatigue this time. And this video here is, I think, the most that I've talked in the last 5 or 6 days. We haven't been doing that much talking. Who knew you can get tired just sitting up straight, and out of breath, just sitting up straight, trying to work, and I'm working on giving myself the space and opportunity to be tired and to feel fatigued and not try to push so hard to get back to normal as fast. This was, again, cycle 3 of this AC chemo. I only have one more of these really tough ones from my understanding, and things should get easier for the next 12, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm trying to give myself the grace to not feel well, the grace to not want to talk, the grace to, take a few days to make videos and to want to, and so that's kind of where we are. Yeah, I felt better as far as not being nauseous and sick and that thing, but the the fatigue and the weariness, I guess, was a thing or is a thing. And so I haven't, if you called me, love you. If you texted me, appreciate it. But this hasn't been a good week for a lot of talking and interaction and that thing. And you seeing this lovely wrap on my head. It's pretty hot. I ordered this one off of a Facebook ad, and yeah, we haven't been doing real well with these hair wraps because they're hot and it's 90 degrees, and you know, we just, this is for this video, and you know what, here we go. It's just hot because, you know, we get tossed into hot flashes. All of a sudden we sweating for nothing, and it just makes it hard. So yeah, let's just come out of this, and we just gonna be what it is. This is a cool wrap though. It's hot though. It's made out of like t-shirt material, and it actually has a satin lining in it. But here's my head. This is me. This is bald-headed me, and if you look real close, you can still see the grid lines from parts that we had. So yeah, she's bald. It is what it is, because as soon as I took that off, I felt like I got some air. But this is a really cool head wrap, and I had my little thing in there to give me some height, because ain't no height on a bald head. But it has this little satin wrap, and it, you know, has this where you can wrap it around. It's a cool kind of thing. I got a couple of those. I got a couple of caps. But it's hot. It's hot to wear those. So you get bald head. I actually have some hair that's growing out. And the funny thing is, after we cut hair, in like 2 or 3 days, we had hair growing out. And I was offended. I was offended by the hair because it took me swallowing and, you know, dealing to be able to cut it off, and then for it to come right back. It's like, how dare you? You just be off. I cut you off, be off. So, you know, while I get used to the process of being a bald lady. But we have hair that's starting to grow back, and it's still patchy though. There's nothing here. There's nothing here, but we have hair up here and those grid lines. That's just, it just is what it is. So this is bald Kaya. This is how we look right now. So that's that. What else can I tell you? I do have, oh my gosh, the nail thing. Do you see my nail here? I don't know how people do it, but my nail beds are dark from the chemo. This is one of the side effects where your nail beds turn black or brown. That's awful. And then we have this mouth thing. We have to continually rinse because the mouth gets dry and could do sores and all of that. That's horrible. But, you know, things could be worse. Things could be worse. I'm still praying for everybody who's reached out, who is going through, has gone through. Yeah, I'm still praying for you, so that we can be encouraged together. And if you're interested, my scripture that I've been clinging to over the last couple of days has been in Psalms 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. This is a shadow. It's the valley of the shadow of death. And so sometimes we could be overwhelmed and say, you know, at the seriousness of the situation, the fact that, you know, we are battling a deadly disease that has killed many, but many have survived as well, and God is faithful, and we're just going to trust him, you know, down through here. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm not fearful. What else can I share with you? don't know if I mentioned that my last chemo, Kim came by and dropped by while I was in chemo, and sat with me and talked with me. And that was so lovely and so appreciated. I've continued to get wonderful gifts. And let me show you this. A coworker of mine sent this to me. It is a mug that says Black Queen. This lady got more hair than I do, but it ain't this beautiful. She made this and she sent this to me and it came today. So thank you, Tonisha, for this wonderful mug. I'm sure I'll have wonderful tea good in here. But yeah, people have continued to send things, and yeah, we've just been leaning with it and rocking with it. This week, like I said, it's been interesting. I haven't felt like a lot of talking. I know I owe some people some phone calls, and I will. I'll call back. First couple of days is always kind of rough. And this one seems to have lasted more than the first couple of where we haven't done a whole bunch of talking this time. So I'll call and whatever. So I don't know if I have another update for you, but continue to keep me in your prayers. We'll be more exciting and have more things to share as time progresses. But I'm excited. What I am excited is that I only have one more of these AC chemos. This is for the birds. They can have this. And then we go right into the 12 weekly Taxol treatments. I also met with I read with the radiation oncologist last week as well, and I didn't realize radiation was going to be as much as they were talking. I didn't realize it was going to be daily for weeks and weeks at a time. That's going to be interesting, but it's down the road a ways. Yeah, that was eye-opening for me to see how much radiation, they give a person. This bald head is a lot, and I'm putting this on camera, and I am going to upload it. That's me talking to myself. I'm going to upload this bald head on YouTube. With growth. Yeah. I think that's it for me. I think that's it. I have been able to watch TV this week, which is different. Concentration has been off. But surprisingly, I've been able to watch a little TV. One of the things that is hilarious, I think, to me is both my neighbors are getting on my nerves. And I hate to be that neighbor because, I'm at home all the time now. But even now, the radio is up so loud. I think my wall is vibrating a little bit. I would be surprised if you couldn't hear it. But, I refuse to be the at-home neighbor calling the people because your neighbors is getting on your nerves because you won't have nothing else to do and you don't have a life. I refuse to be her. But they are getting on my nerves. I just have to put it out there and say it. Anyway, that's it. Pray for me. That I can receive all the Amazon packages that continue to come my way. I'm ordering food right now. I think of something, and me and Prime been getting down. Pray my strength in the Lord for me and Prime. But yeah, that's me and my rambling video. And I'm done. For real.